In today's Horizon 6 video, we are taking a look at the Land Cruiser Arctic truck. Now if you want this for yourself, you have to get 30 points on the festival playlist during winter, and this has first appeared in the Welcome to Japan's festival playlist. Technically it is in the game from launch, and it is definitely not a new to Forza or Horizon. So what we'll do is take it for a race in its current upgrades, and then we'll take it again once we've put some upgrades on and just basically see if it was worth it and if it was an enjoyable drive. So what we're going to do a bit later on for this Arctic truck is, because it's an off-roader, I think for the build I'm going to just keep it as an off-roader, as that seems more practical. It's not overly fast either. Also, it is kind of fitting we unlocked an Arctic truck during winter season, isn't it? Was quite a comfortable jump. Just seems to get slower and slower, doesn't it? Oh, I see what happened. So, unlike Horizon 4, it appears that snow actually bogs us down. Now, being bogged down is not new to me, as the rally expansion for Horizon 5, it had sand that did the exact same thing. So we all know that the expansions are usually a testing bed for future things. One thing that never came over from the rally expansion was the long dust clouds. Not too sure why, but we may see that in a future update, maybe. Well, we're definitely struggling here in the snow, aren't we? Back on the road, that should help us a little bit. So we're now 3 minutes into this race, just due to the fact that I don't want the video on this truck to go too long. So what I'm going to do is end the race here, and we'll head over to the upgrades and see what we can actually do to this Land Cruiser. Now, driving this thing around on stock upgrades is excruciatingly painful, and it doesn't help the fact that I'm not really a fan of these SUVs as well. Anyway, put that aside, let's get into some upgrades. No off-road wide body kits available. We do have the usual stuff there. What we're going to do is make this a little bit more competitive. So basically I'm going to do exactly everything I did with the WRX Street build. The only difference here is that I will be running it as an off-roader, and this also has a little fun fact that this is in fact a diesel, and that is why we do not get the anti-lag, as diesels can't really run anti-lag as I have been told. Got some sport valves, yes, some good. Some intercoolers. Somehow, oh hang on, go back here a second. So somehow, putting a sport intercooler makes this car overall worse. I'm not sure how that works out well. Anyway, oil cooling. Again, it just makes it kind of worse, but gives us more power. That's a bit strange there. I think something similar happened in Horizon 5 with the Volkswagen ID4 actually. Anyway, go on to the brakes. What we're going to do is have some sport brakes. Roll bars. Oh yeah, I'm not surprised. We're going to need to put some roll bars on here. Weight reduction. Sport weight. And now, since we're using this off-road, we want this to be more sturdy. So we're going to put in a full body roll cage. Drivetrain available, a clutch. Yes, we want a clutch. It's now A class from D class, so that is definitely an improvement on race transmission. And a sports driveline. The diff. Now, Horizon, it seems to be a thing that the diff's actually quite important. What we're going to do is have an off-road diff. They do help if you actually upgrade the diff. A lot of people just tend to leave it. Now the tyre, semi-slick, so we could do a road build for this if we want to, but it's a little bit dark. I would like to know what the tread patterns look like. We've got a rally tyre compound, a drift tyre available, a slick, so stock and off-road uses the same compound. We're going to put that on anyway. What else have we got here? Snow and drag, so it's just the usual. Front tyre width, we're going to make that wider. Same with the rear. For the rims, what we're going to do is I'm looking for that something that seems off-roading like KMC. I'm going to look for some KMC rims. Here we go, these are the rims I was looking for in fact. What else do we got here? We've got front rim size. We can make it wider, but we're going to leave it that because, like I've said before, the lower the tyre profile on the sidewalls, the better. For in fact, when you're off-roading, it's actually the opposite way round. So the taller your tyres, the better, the taller the wheel sidewall, the better it is for your off-roader. Now we have the stock front bumper, some lights. I do hope these lights work. We could use this, but since we're going off-roading in this thing, and yeah, we'll put a bush guard. Rear bumper, what have we got available here? It seems to be another bush guard. It's a tow ball, like we're going to go camping in Horizon 6, so that can stay off. And side skirts, mud flaps, they don't do anything. So to me, they're not really worth putting on unless it's just for aesthetic purposes. Now with that done, I did notice we can't do the suspension. It just seems to be the way it is. So with those upgrades, we'll take it in an off-road race again and see how well it goes, if it improves the speed. The reason I chose this track is because the last video, the WRX one, I mentioned that the water does not, or the river does not put water spots on your windshield, and I thought this would be the perfect track to show what I mean by that. And also you get a nice view of Mount Fuji over there. That BMW is not set up for this. He's in my way, isn't he? I just curb stomp that guy. Yeah, this definitely is better off with upgrades. potential to be very competitive, this Highlander. Winter season, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the snow covered everything, really. It does get a little bit boring after a while. Here we go, the river that does not put the water spots. The same thing happened in Horizon 4. Like I said, I'm not too sure what's up with that. Now anyway, going back to this winter season, I'm not really a fan of the snow-covered area, as it's just... I like a little bit of colour diversity, as even when I play Elder Scrolls Online, I don't really hang out in snow-covered areas for that matter, and the same goes for like Alikir Desert. I'm not really in the area just because the constancy of the brown from the desert or the white from the snow kind of gets a little boring after a while. And now that brings us to the end of the look at this Highlander Arctic truck. Now, is this worth unlocking in Horizon 6? Well, that's really up to you, but to me, I definitely think it has the potential to be very competitive off-road. For that fact, I say go for it. But other than that, that's about it really, as I don't think it will be competitive on the roads, just due to the fact that there's just kind of too much against it in the way of road racing. And if you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.